I'm going to do my final One Book July video because I started it at the end of June, and I'm going to end it the last week in July. So I've gone through 4 weeks, and I have time because Joey and Ventura are practicing for the Greyhound Olympics in the sport of synchronized sleeping. And I think they're just about ready to compete. So what I realized was I tried a few different things. I started in the Pocket Rio. I moved back into my Midori and needed a month, so just taped one in. And then I added the essentially a health tracker for myself. The last video is more specifically about this and not about One Book July. If you're interested, it's the last one I did. But what I realized is I really do best in one book, which I think, despite the fact that I had never used a bound planner before, why a Hobonichi worked so well for me. I found that I primarily used the daily pages, but because they were all in one book, future planning was easy. All I had to do was go to whatever page it was and write my date, and when I flipped, I knew exactly what I had to do on that date. I didn't have to worry about a monthly insert. I didn't have to worry about a weekly insert. Even though they were in there, I never really used them. And there is enough space for me to put everything, including information about health and things like that, if I wanted to. The thing is, this is a better size for me. Even when it gets bulky, it's still considerably smaller than the Hobonichi. And at the beginning of the year, I tried an A6. That was too small, so I think this size is a really good compromise for me. But what I found when I added this, and this was a book that worked for me, and this was the book that worked for me, I only wrote in one book. So when I was using this a lot, I almost never wrote in a year. It was like this week. When I was primarily using this, I wrote in it a lot. So what I figured out from One Book July was what works best for me is one book, no matter what it is. And I actually wish there was an insert for the Midori with a day per page and a whole year's worth of pages. And in Tomo River paper, that would actually be doable. But there isn't one. And I've considered what to do, and I'm actually not really sure. There's a few things I looked into, a few inserts that I bought, and I really think something like the DIY fish inserts that have a day or two per page might be a good compromise, because even though they're separate booklets, they're kind of separated out into like monthly bundles. But I'm really, honestly, I'm really not sure what I'm going to do next. Um, I think that the lesson for me was that this is a really good size for me. I'm going to have to figure out what to do about an insert because I'm actually at the end of this, so I'm going to need something else. And I don't know which one to go to next, really, and I'm not sure I want to print them. I'm just not sure I want to print them. It ends up being a really expensive proposition for me, and even though I'm able to print stuff, they're kind of like, I don't even know, they're just kind of uneven and icky looking. So yeah, I know this is rambly, but interestingly enough, what I found in One Book July was that I actually do best in one book, and I don't think that's an option for this. So I'm really not sure actually what I'm going to do next, but I am really glad I did it, and I did find it really, really helpful. Limiting my pens was fine. I primarily use some kind of black pen. I mean, that's pretty much what I was doing. And so it was a good learning experience. I would definitely do it again if they did it again. And I may have to try to come up with an insert. I really don't know. And if anybody knows any inserts that are like day per page, but I mean, Midori has one that's 2 months worth, and that may be what I have to go with. Doesn't solve my problem of future planning, but honestly, I could write stuff down on a blank page for things that are coming up. So I guess that's it, and I'm going to be enjoying everybody's final One Book July videos pretty soon, I would imagine, and have a good day.